Hello everybody and welcome to a slightly gloomy day here at the North Etiwanda Preserve.
So this place actually has multiple trails that one of them would take, or maybe multiple ones. We only did one of them before. It would take you to the waterfalls, and there's some streams, and it was really pretty from what I remember. It's been quite a while. It's when we first started dating, huh?
Yeah.
10 years ago, 10 years ago.
And we typically do that this hike more in the warmer summer months, and with all this rain, it's probably going to be pretty green out there. So that should be kind of cool and pretty.
So it's supposed to be a straightforward hike. It's about 3.4 miles with, I don't remember exactly, like 800 to 900 feet elevation gain.
We'll put it right here.
It's going to be in the article, so if you want to go ahead and click on the link in the descriptions, we have the link for all the details. And then we might, depends on how cold it gets, we might do the whole loop. The whole loop is over 6 miles. So, but we're aiming for the shorter one first because I'm freezing. It's not, I mean, it's 50 degrees, but I'm cold, so.
Hopefully once we get moving, we'll warm up a little bit.
Yeah, so we're gonna get head going. So this is the parking lot that you're gonna be parking. We'll show you some videos and pictures of it. You do have to pay, so make sure you pay. People have been getting tickets, and there's a lot of people, trip reports, people are getting tickets. So make sure you pay. They have sites everywhere, so you can't miss it. It's like $3.25
For the half day, yeah.
for about 4 hours. And then I think if you're here for the whole day, which is anything past the 4 hours, then you have to pay. Is it double?
I am not sure.
Yeah, so just pay though.
Yeah, and don't park outside the gates on the street. I heard that people are getting tickets and even towed out there, so that is bad news.
All right, so yeah, now we're done with all the logistics, so we're gonna go.
Yeah, here we go.
The trails inside the preserve do come with quite a few rules. No horses, firearms, OHVs, bikes, or dogs, even though we did end up seeing quite a few pups on the trail.
So just in case you missed the 10,000 signs at the parking lot telling you that you have to pay, there is one last one here that you can pay at the trailhead. So make sure you pay because they really, really, really want your money so you get tickets. Also, no dogs, and the gate closed at sunset. So make sure you get the heck out here before sunset. Sunset time varies, depends on the season. I'm sure you know that. So we're gonna go now.
Right out of the gate, the trail is pretty rocky, so shoes with a good amount of traction and even some ankle support are probably a great idea. We were visiting on a pretty cold and gloomy day, so we weren't going to need too much shade, but if you visit on a warmer day, there are 2 shade structures located throughout the park.
This extremely wet winter has definitely greened things up quite a bit here. Oh, look. Quarter of a mile mark. We're doing amazing. Just kidding. No, yeah, it is definitely way more green out here. I think every other time we've been out here, it's been just insanely hot and brown, but I feel like I'm in like the Sound of Music out here. I'm about to start doing some show tunes or something like that.
Depending on your hiking goals for the day, there are 3 options as far as trails go. If you just go to the waterfall and back, it is 3.4 miles round trip. There is a large loop that goes all the way around the preserve, and that's 5 miles. And then there's something right in the middle, which is what we're doing in this video. It's a small loop that is 4.5 miles round trip.
So we are just slightly under half a mile in. We're gaining a little bit of elevation.
After you pass half a mile marker, did I say it right?
The half mile marker, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, so you will come up to this, I don't know if you can see it, definitely want to show it, the freeway junction here. If you go straight up, which is Yeah, just go on the middle one, just go straight up. That will take you all the way to the Etiwanda Falls. This one's right here. If you go left, it's part of a loop. So eventually you would loop back into the main trail. And if you go right, that is a very short path to, I believe, some sort of Native Americans or Native Californian structure. We haven't been this way yet, so we're just gonna go check it out. So now you know what it looks like. So we'll go right first, and then we'll come back to the main trail.
A short ways after taking the shortcut to the Native American ruins, we got our first look at water. And it looks like it's flowing pretty good, so I'm sure the waterfall is going to be mighty beautiful. We made our way to the Native American artifact site, and I don't think that there are any artifacts still here.
I think it's called Native Californians. I don't know if it's artifacts.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Evidently, according to this sign, there were artifacts found here, but I'm assuming that they are no longer here.
I mean, it's a pretty view. There's some benches and some informational signage. So if you feel like reading, you can come out here and read the facts. I'm not a big reader, so I think next time we'll skip this part.
Yeah, or, I mean, if you visit on a pleasant day, this is a pretty cool little table here if you want to stop for lunch.
Even though the native Californian site wasn't what we were expecting, the good thing is that the detour was only about 500 feet long, and soon we were back on our way to see the falls.
Once we get back on the main trail past the intersection, it's actually getting a lot rockier. So watch your foot and don't twist your ankles. I tend to do that, so don't copy me.
This is where the climbing will start to kick into high gear. Not only are there a lot of rocks, but there's also a lot of erosion on the trail. I'm not sure if this is the result of recent rains or if this has built up over the years, but there are a lot of rain ruts that you need to hop over and navigate around. One of the positive sides of all of the recent rains is that the trail and surrounding hills are covered in these tiny white flowers, and they are really pretty.
The hill at this point is a little bit relentless, I would say. I mean, it's not extremely steep, it's just constantly gaining, but
Up.
As we're getting higher, we're also getting way more flowers. The trail is just absolutely lined with them right now, and it's really pretty. I took a video clip of my phone saying what they were according to the Seek app. I don't know if that's correct, and I don't have any idea how to pronounce that.
So the flowers are only here in the spring. So if you come in any other season, you probably won't see them. So
Good reason to get out here.
yeah, only in the spring. It's really pretty.
The higher that we climbed, the better the views got of Rancho Cucamonga, the rolling green hills, and the snow-capped mountains. All I know is that after our trip to Bryce Canyon, I'm much happier seeing snow from a distance. If you haven't seen our videos from that trip, click in the upper corner right now.
Alright, so when you come up to this metal pole looking thing here, you actually add another intersection. The right one, I have no idea where that's going, so don't go that way. If you want to go to the waterfall, just keep going straight on the main path. And then the left route actually look you back. Remember that first intersection that we saw? It's actually look back to that way. And then if you keep going, it will take you to another waterfall, and then also another option for a bigger loop back to the main trailhead. Well, now we're just gonna go straight and see the waterfalls, and then we'll come back, and then depends on how the timing and the weather is, we'll decide whether we want to do the loop or not. So we'll keep you posted. Yes, that's the word, posted. All right, we're gonna go this way.
And we're still climbing. We're still climbing. This is definitely a good one if you want to get some elevation in. It's not insanely steep. It probably is a good little trainer if you're going to be doing something with a lot of hills.
There's a lot of people though.
A lot of people. And this is on a Monday we're shooting this, and I'm pretty surprised with the crowds that we're seeing out here.
There's a lot of people running up and down, like exercising. So I guess it's an exercising trail.
Yeah, I know if I tried to run up this hill, I would totally mess my ankle up. I would trip. I'd be in a cast for sure. So I'm
very rocky.
Keeping it smooth and steady. We just came to a little bit of a clearing. The bushes got a lot shorter, and as soon as they did, we started to hear the sounds of rushing water. You can see kind of faintly see the river down there. Is it a river or a stream? What does it take to classify a river? We'll look into that. We're getting a little bit of a break from the climbing for a second, and I think we're getting closer.
The closer to the waterfall that you get, the more water you're going to encounter. We passed several pipes and this concrete strainer. I thought we were done climbing at this point, but we still had just a little bit left to go.
You can definitely tell all this recent rain is doing this area a lot of good. There's so many of these little cool spillways and everything. They're just pouring like crazy. A lot of really cool sounds, and we're gonna have to record a bunch of those. Very peaceful, very serene.
So if you haven't already, check out our relaxing ride channel. The link is in our profile, so you can listen to these sounds to go to sleep, or studies, or whatever you need to.
Finally, we had made it to the waterfalls, and I can say that if you visit during the rainy season, you will definitely not be disappointed. It is so beautiful and peaceful up here, and I think it goes without saying, if you decide to visit, please be sure to clean up after yourself. Don't carve your names in the trees or paint your names on the rocks. The cool thing about this spot is not only do you have these smaller falls to enjoy, but there are also some pretty good sized waterfalls here as well. Please be careful when exploring the falls here. A lot of the rocks have been polished by the water and they are really smooth and slippery. It's a long ways down from the viewpoint overlooking the falls, and if you slip, it's going to be bad news. The water pouring over the falls was so loud, and we figured that this would be a great time to test out our DJI mics and see how they work in harsh conditions.
I have no idea if you can hear us over the sound of the waterfall.
Very loud, very loud.
Maybe we'll put subtitles. But we have made it, and well, we've made it to the main fall, I guess you could say. The smaller falls that we went to were just up in there a little bit, and here is the main falls, which there's kind of a double fall, and then it goes down over another one, but that one, the lowest one, is a little bit hard to see because it kind of goes over the edge, and I don't think there's a safe way to see it. We'll just know that it's there.
After the waterfall, there are multiple ways to get back up to the main trail. So this is one of them. It's just a little shortcut. You just go up, and it will meet up with the main trail up here. You can always just look around and go back, whatever ways, but that's where we end our hike there. So, right there. And then we're just gonna go back that way.
After hanging out at the falls, you now have the option to head straight back down the hill to your car. And I'm not gonna lie, with the weather, we were considering it.
So I guess the nice thing about all that climbing is that there's a good bit of downhill on the way back, which makes things a little bit easier. And we are now back to that little sign and the fork. And I think we're gonna go for it. We're going to go right here.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the loop. Most people stay on the main trail. You probably won't run into anyone doing the the loop. So if you want some peace and quietness, then go. It's longer though. It's a lot longer. So
Quite a bit longer.
yeah, so it's up to you what you want to do. We're actually going to do the small loop. There's a small loop and a bigger loop. We're going to do the small loop today.
The downside to taking the right at the fork is more elevation gain. We're back to climbing. It would have been pretty much downhill all the way to the car, I think, if we just did it as an out and back. But as you can see, it looks like we're going to be climbing again for a second. That's okay.
But I mean, you get to see the view.
The view is pretty spectacular from here.
And then it's kind of hard to see, but if you notice on the hillside, those are all flowers. There are these white little flowers that we saw along the way. See that? Those are all flowers. So pretty.
The good thing is that you're only going to be climbing for about 0.3 of a mile and gaining about 150 feet.
After a little bit, we came up to an intersection. It's a T section, so it's dead end. We came down. Don't know if you can see it. We came down from there, and then when you go up there, you see right or left. So you need to go right. The left one, we tried to go up there because we thought that was a trail. It's just going up, but it doesn't really take you anywhere.
Way up that hill. I think it's a viewpoint. Is it a viewpoint?
I have no idea. We went for a little bit and went, oh, that's the wrong way. But you actually go right to go down.
Yeah, that looks a lot more fun than that one anyways. So I like that. I like this way more. I will say that there are way less rocks going this way. It's quite a bit more of a smooth dirt road, but that doesn't mean it's not slippery. We almost went for a little bit of a roller coaster ride on the hill over there.
Yes, I did.
But we survived.
You'll be happy to know that if you're doing the medium loop, the climbing at this point is done. The rest of the trail is going to be either flat or downhill from here on out.
We, as you may have seen in previous videos, are notoriously slow hikers. We bought the parking permit for 4 hours, and that is nowhere enough if you want to do the large loop, or at least if we want to do the large loop. So we've come to this fork. You can see there's a little trail marker.
I guess, yeah.
I'm happy with trail marker. And we are going to be making the left here. That's going to go past another historical site, supposedly, and head back to the car.
So that one's actually going to loop back to that main trail. Remember the first intersection that we talked about? So that's this way you go left would loop back. If you want to do the longer loop, you actually can go straight, and then there's multiple detour where it probably take you to another waterfall. And then if you continue to the loop, it's going to loop back to the road before the parking lot. Right before the trailhead. So that's going to loop back that way. We're short on time, so we're going to go do the shorter loop, so we're going to go left.
We'll save that one for next time. And on a side note, check out these snowy mountains in the background. So pretty.
Continuing on to the large loop will add another 1/2 of a mile to your hike. If you do that and visit the falls on that side of the preserve, you'll end up with a grand total of 5.7 miles.
We came upon another, it's not really an intersection, it's like a detour. If you go right, it's gonna take you to this little pretty bridge, and then you get to the early settlers area structure that's our leftover. So it's kind of cool. Bridge is really pretty, so we're gonna check it out.
It's kind of neat that in addition to all of the beautiful scenery, this hike has a lot of historic elements to it as well.
The stone foundation and the chimney that you can see behind me are all that are left today from the early settlers in the 1800s. I guess they built some of this to last because it's still in pretty good shape, I'd say.
It must have been pretty crazy to see that house when it was being lived in. There were no cities off in the distance, and it was just nature as far as you could see. On one hand, that sounds so incredibly peaceful. But on the other hand, I like just being able to go to the grocery store whenever we're hungry.
We've made it back to the first fork in the trail.
Yeah, the first junction where it's split into three. And remember, that's the one where you go over to the native Californian area that.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah. So at this point, if you're coming from the trail that we did, you're going to make a right to go back to the parking lot. Going left will take you to the waterfalls that we just went to, and going straight would go to that little area in the native Californians area. So we're going back to the car because we've been through all that stuff.
You mean you don't want to go up the hill again?
No, I'm good.
On the last leg of the trail, we found ourselves suddenly in an interesting situation. The helicopter was flying overhead and there were lots of sheriffs on the trail. We had no idea what was going on, but it turns out that a lady had fallen and injured herself on the trail. We want to send a big shout out to the officers that went up there to help her out, and we really hope that she is okay. This is a great reminder why you should always take trackers and SOS beacons with you on your hikes. Soon we were back at the trailhead and ready to give our final remarks, close out this video, and then head to the warm car.
It's pretty much, I mean, the trail is called Etiwanda Waterfalls, so Etiwanda Falls Trail. I like it. It's pretty cool. We've been here before, but it's been so long I don't remember much of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I don't think, it's not like ranked up there with national park type hikes, but the good thing is if you live anywhere near the Inland Empire, it's about an hour drive and solid little hike.
I feel like the waterfall, if you come here, after a spring flow, though, it's worth it. It's really, It's beautiful. And it's easy and not that bad, unless, you want to add on the loop, which is, seriously, it's not that bad at all. The loop's really pretty easy.
We just like to complain on hills.
The hills, you take it slow. We did take it slow, take your time and just take some time to breathe, but it's not really that challenging. It's just an uphill with a lot of rocks. And so I would definitely recommend doing the loop if you can. It's really pretty, and it's, give you the extra little pump, some peaceful and way less.
We saw, 4 people on that part of the trail.
All together.
Yeah, not bad.
They have that little house that was kind of cool to see.
Yeah. So overall, I'd say do it.
Yeah,
Fun.
Definitely.
And
I'm hungry, so we're going to the car and go eat.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, don't forget, click that like button and subscribe for more videos. All right? Take it easy. Bye.